in this very course, we'll be learning about the history brush. There are two of them. We have the history brush tool and the art history brush tool. So what the history brush does is that it takes whatever you have done through your editing. Basically, if you're editing on a raster, it takes you back through history. Okay, there are instances where the history brush could be applied, and there are instances where it couldn't be applied. For example, if you had distorted the image to a level, you won't be able to use the history brush. Okay, the history brush is active here, but if I am to crop the image and then try using the history brush, you see it's no longer inactive. So usually it works on a raster or on an image that has not been distorted. The dimensions have not been distorted from history. Okay, so we're going to start with the art history brush and then try to understand how the history brush works. So for the art history brush, it's basically an artistic tool. You use it to transform your image. Okay, there are very many transformations you could do here. You can change the area size, the tolerance size, and the angle. Okay, so let's work on the area. Maybe we'll change it to 20 pixel since the image we're working on is small, and you can change different designs here. So let's say, for example, we're using a tight shot, and this is what happens. So the pixel is too much. Let's use 5 pixel and see what happens. Okay, you can also change it to, let's see what a tight call looks like. Okay, this is what it does. It kind of it changes. You can also change the opacity to different dimensions. So this is what hue does. It changes the colors. You can also work on saturation, or you can lighten or darken, and to see different dimensions to what you intend to achieve. Okay, you can apply this to different kind of images. Okay, so let's open a different image that have this cloud and sea. So let's use maybe a lesser pixel because this image is small, and see, so you can see what happens. You can also decide to dab, and so you just basically do some artistic work on the image. So coming back to this very image with the computer system, okay, you can decide to just play around with this and see what you can achieve with it. And then so we come back to the history brush tool, and the shortcut, don't forget this Y is the shortcut to pick any of them. And so the history brush, what it does is that it returns your picture back to its original state as at when you opened it. So we want to restore just a part of this with the history brush. When you just click or click and drag, it restores the picture to its original state. So everywhere I click is restored. Now these other areas that I didn't click are not restored. So I can decide to restore everything back through history. And this was how our image was looking like before now. So you can decide to leave it this way, and it's a little more artistic and it's beautiful. So in those days we use the history brush basically when we use portraiture for portrait retouching, and we use the history brush to restore back the original texture of maybe the original look of the eye, the original sharpness of the eye, and all of that. So thank you so much for your time. Keep practicing.